If you want to make money with AI, you're going to have to stop trying to sell automations, AI agents, or AI chatbots. Those things are oversaturated, it's been overused, and it's all over the internet. You're going to have to think about getting ahead of the curve and building complete AI infrastructures with a proper back end and front end. My name is Altus, and my community and I, and my own AI agency, has jumped on this curve, and with the help of AI, is able to build these complete infrastructures using a total back end and front end. In my last two videos, I showed two super valuable options where you can build an app on your phone that's totally customizable and uses AI in the background, including other things like lead magnets and total applications built with AI for businesses. This video is going to be just as valuable. We're going to go through about how to build a Google Chrome extension that connects to things like N8N and is capable of just about anything. These are super valuable and businesses love it because it's hyper-personalized specifically for them. We'll go through the full video. You'll be able to download the things at the end and join communities and free school groups. So stick it out, watch it through, and you're going to definitely learn something awesome today. Let me quickly just start with the why. Why did I say this and what do I mean? So simply put, a lot of us, including me, has been awesome and very successful with these kind of workflows. And it's a really good backend as such. And these automations and workflows does really cool things. And if you were maybe at the start of 2024, these were really good. It was new. It was from mate.com. It was really awesome. Then we started to add AI agents to do, or AI modules first, let me say that, to do a bit more of a response to it. And then through later on in this year, N8N has really come along, and you can see by the popularity of N8N, if you just simply look it up in Google Trends, it's really taken off. And it's mostly because of AI agents and the fact that you can add tools to it. So we've really gone from simple workflows with one task to kind of like a agentic kind of model to it. But here's the problem. It's very singular. It's kind of just built on a back end, and it's not very personalized to any business for their users. Now, a lot of things, especially like this one, these are all over social media at the moment. The front end is Telegram, okay? And all of these front ends, just a couple, Microsoft Telegram, Google Sheets and all those are the front ends that's built out. And at the end of the day, these companies are going to start having their own automations and AI agents for it. So you're really going to lose the edge on this. But when you're actually capable of building a total system with a total front end, you can actually connect multiple of these systems together. It's personalized, it looks good for businesses, and it's just the next level up. So kind of the steps that we had was basic linear kind of workflows, to adding a bit of AI to it, to having a bit more advanced workflows, to having that bit of agentic workflow to it with AI agents that can do more things. So one automation can do a couple of things. Now it's really come to the stage, and thanks to AI, that we can really hook these up to custom build front ends. And I'll scroll down here and I'll show you what I mean. Our real solution is actually, and it's totally plausible at the moment, with all the different AI tools that's put together, is building an AI infrastructure, AI applications, AI agentic systems, name it whatever you want. They're all over, getting really popular at the moment. I just like the word super, so I can chuck it in front of mine. Super systems. And it's really where you take a combination of all the tools that's available, and they're all AI tools, they're all automation tools of some sort, but you'll be able to build out a total package with a lot of function to it. Now, if you haven't, go watch my last couple of videos. I actually built a lead magnet system. So instead of those normal boring PDFs that you get, you actually get a lead magnet that analyzes the business, gives the person a voice message, does an AI chat on screen with them as if they are on them, employed by them, and then actually makes a phone call as a demo bot for them. So that's a total system in there. Then I've also built a phone application that does and hooks up to N8, and it does a lot of things as well. So building out these total systems by using tools like Lovable, Bold, Replit, Cursor, connecting them up and talking to large language modules, having automation tools that can then connect you to anything else infinitely. And then also the availability for databases. Database is so super important. Superbase is totally free at the moment. It's like really amazing. Or even just Google Sheets if you're going the basic way. But having a total system where we combine as many tools as we can really creates the top next level of value. And I'm sure after this, there's going to be something else coming in. So I just want to explain that again. Linear little systems, back ends only. Yes, we've upped this year again with the AI agent and the agentic kind of stuff, or the capability where one workflow can do multiple things. But we just need to step it up again. And the way to step it up is building these systems, and you build awesome front ends. And it's easy because you can build those front ends for and on the devices that everyone uses, right? So every business owner, everyone uses either a computer or a phone. Now, if you can build a front end that works on these, it works really great and really amazing. And that's what I did with the total application. So the last couple of videos, I've had a lead magnet that has a bunch of functions to it. I have the phone app that has a bunch of functions and cool to it. It's your phone app made for you. You can customize it, change it to any business, add logos, do all its things to it, because the front end, it connects it to a back end. I've also built specific AI agents that looks like yours and comes on a website, and you can pay, and there's so much options building those front ends out from here. But what I want to show here again is just a little extra food for thought and something else, and that's actually AI Chrome extensions. So it's these Chrome extensions that's going to be the front end, and also again connects to the back end and can do multiple things, whatever you want to it. But it's just a different way of, again, thinking of this. So instead of just having a website or a website app, now let's say a business or whoever is on a website or their website, if they can have a Chrome extension, it's just going to add that extra value to it, because they don't have to go off and do something else on another website. Okay. And these extensions are kind of like a mini website, a mini chatbot or function like that. And again, you connect them up to N8N. Is the basic one I'm going to show you up. It's going to, again, just do anything because you can connect a tool to it. Okay, so hope you're not confused about it. It's just an extra way of creating extra value for it. Now, I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this. There's multiple ways of doing it. And in this video, we're going to build a basic extension. It's going to be a co-pilot for a program called Lovable as well, which is again another thing. I'm going to show you how I have built out a Chrome extension. I'm going to show you how we can edit it. And the great thing about who and where we are is that you can actually use multiple apps for it. So what I have done is I built this one out, and I'll show it to you in a second. I've built this one out in Claude and actually created the files manually myself. But you can do it in Cursor, because Cursor's got a free trial version if you want to. But then I'll also show you the VS Code one for it, and you can edit and play around with the application a little bit and mess around. And of course, I'll also show you the actual workflow to it and what I've done to it and how I've actually trained the AI agent. So this is going to be another trick where I actually have this really, really custom prompt in here, and you'll see it's actually quite massively long, and we'll talk through it later on, who and what this is and the reason for this and how we've trained this up as well. So lots of things to go into it. And yeah, Chrome extensions, obviously they can look like this. That pops up in here, and you can add things in here. There's a scraper one, you can click away, it goes away. But this one I really specifically built to actually sit in your extension. And this is going to be a co-pilot for a program. And just because I use Lovable, I mean, you'll get to it, don't worry about it, because it's Lovable. But this Chrome extension just really looks something like this, where you can come in here and it's a side plug-in. Instead, it sits in there because it's a co-pilot. So we don't want to do stuff here and then the extension disappears. We want it to stay in there so we can do stuff here, go back and refer backwards and forwards. And I'll show you how I did this so you can go out and do your own thing for your own businesses and sell it. All you need to do is just identify that one problem that causes a business either time constraints, which is really easy with these now, or actual money constraints, and then take all of this and build out a system for them. That's the next level where we at. So I hope this makes sense. So we'll go through it now. I'll go through all it, show you slowly how I did, show you the code, and of course I'll link everything up to you for you as well. And just remember there are these two groups in here. Let me just open this one. The two groups, obviously the paid group, it's got all this amazing, really, really great trainings like this. There's over 200 videos on all these voice AI systems from different ones, VAPI, retail, high level, automations, heaps of them, N8N automations, vibe coding stuff, lead scraping, outbound systems of SMS and emails. There's so much in there, 200 videos of trainings in there. Plus, not only that, you get like about $4,000 worth of free products when you actually just sign up. But there is also the free community, and they're all linked down the bottom, and in here you'll have some access to some free stuff. But I'll give all of this to you where I'll actually give you the total animation like this, so you'll be able to load up your own extension like this. I'll give you all the files. It's a little bit harder, but I'll go over it. Don't worry about it if it's too confusing. And we'll go through and you'll be able to download the blueprint, and the value in the blueprint is actually the prompt. Okay, so this is basic. Everyone would have known how to do it, but we'll go through it, especially while we're using this and the blueprint. So super, super valuable. So if you've come this far, I hope you understand why. And this is just going to be an example, and this is going to be really cool. So let's get into the build of things. So the reason I said to build out these systems is to really identify a problem within whatever market or niche you have and try to solve it somehow with these systems workflows that you can put together. Now, just because who and what I'm doing and in the school community and so on, we build out a lot of stuff in Lovable. So don't get confused, because I'm going to show you Lovable and we're going to talk about other vibe coding tools. But Lovable is just another no code tool that's really good at creating websites. So for my agency, the people we target, and our perfect avatars usually require some sort of website, or we can update the website to make it look a lot better and nicer. And it's really fast and easy to do with a vibe coding tool like this, because you give it one prompt and off you go. But for this, you obviously have to pay per token per usage, or every time you type something in here, it's going to cost you a credit. So you just move this over in here. It's going to cost you a credit. So the problem comes along is when you're not very specific enough changing things or adding things in here, and you give bad prompts in here, you're just going to waste through all your credits. And it's very hard, especially when you have a limited number of credits, and actually when you pay for credits and like the actual plan as well. So I thought, what about actual building a co-pilot? So the actual co-pilot can help you create a total website as such as well. So it has a master kind of prompt in here. It's like one that I built out. So not only do you get a good first prompt, but if you have questions about this, it can actually give you and tell you what to put in here to get the best results. So you don't waste credit. So it's a kind of money saving / time saving kind of tool. And the idea is that you come in here, once you start out, or wherever you are, might be on the main screen dashboard, and you can just come in, hit your Lovable prompt in here, and I'll just enable the workflow in here for a second, and you can see what I mean by this. I want to build a website for a construction for a building company. Rubbish removal. And I'll send that off, and you'll see it will do some stuff, and then we'll get through it. I just want to demo this quickly for you. So if you're completely new and you don't know what you're doing, this co-pilot is what a co-pilot does. It's going to help you out. So we'll go through, do some things in it. And again, the details are going to come in the prompt in here, and we'll go through this. I'll explain to you. I just want to quickly demo this to you so you can see and you can understand what I mean. So big AI system, we're going to go through the AI system in here. We can go through the comparison. It's all really important, relevant parts. Even this little thing in here, which really tripped me up for quite a while in here. But Let's go back and see what's in here. So here we go. So literally it's given you a good prompt. Now, if you would have just chucked this into Lovable, it most likely would have done something half decent with just this, but it wouldn't be as cool as this. Okay, so it comes up with a bit of copywriting. It tells about your homepage. Yeah, really good. Okay, so business sites, let's just come back here for a second. And this is again what I mean was really good about the extensions. It actually stays up in here, and I should probably move my face just over here for a second now. And you can just see, obviously, when you want to create business sites, and this is what it means is build out for the prompt specific, it's a bit better where it's just one page. Okay, so it goes through, talks about it, gives you good examples, put some placeholders, and you can literally just copy this entire thing over, and it thinks about SEO, and these are things that you wouldn't have thought about putting into your prompt. Okay, so really helpful for anyone that is going to be new to building out lovable websites. Okay, so it helps with that. So, and then again, you can ask simple things like this, and I'll just run this one again, and I'll move back into this. So I was going to say, I was going to say this. So on my website, I have a heading that says that, how do I get lovable.dev to make it twice as big and make it have a color gradient of dark green to black, left to right. Okay, so I want to make it twice as big, and it needs to start with green and go to black. How do I do that in Lovable? So you might be new. If you do Lovable lots, it might be good, but if you don't get this right, this is gonna cost you 2 or 3 prompts, 2 or 3 credits, and you're gonna be kicked off for it. So you're gonna hit that name, and do its thing in here. Our agent's gonna work its magic so that this is the power again, and we're gonna get to this. We're gonna get to the prompt. Okay. Oh, should have left this open for a minute. So let's think a little bit, because it's a really big prompt. Doesn't happen instantly. So let's do its thing. Now again, you're gonna have to know your niche. You're gonna have to know what you build this for. If it's a booking agency, or they'll have some sort of problem that they need a module or a Chrome extension for. That's your part that you're gonna have to figure out. But here it tells us what to tell Lovable. So here's the problem. Step 1, make the text twice as big. Select the headline, use the visual tool in here, apply the changes so you can tell it in here how to implement. So it even talks about the visual tool. It's really good in here that not a lot of people know about. So visual tools down here, and I can select this, and then I can tell it to do this modifications to this header in here. So not a lot of people do that, for example. Anyway, and it goes for the CSS code, and it tells you what to do. So it really helps you out. Okay. Really good, great functionality tool that helps you out, saves you money, saves you credit, and so on. So that's the idea. Okay. Building a functional tool that does a lot of things. So that's how it works. Let me go show you how I did it and everything that works around it, and your different options to doing it. And then we'll actually use the VS Code to change a couple of things just for the fun of it, so you understand, because we want to change things like powered by Lovable out of it, for example. Okay, so let's go through the changes or how it works. So just before we go too far, I forgot to actually add this part in there. The reason why it also saves you a lot of money in this, so obviously we have the extensions in there as well to answer things around it, but I've used OpenRouter. Now, if you don't know what OpenRouter is, it's kind of like the one place stop for all other large language modules. So, and if you want to use something like DeepSeek, you got to go to DeepSeek, go on their website, register, get the API key. Then if you want to test out OpenAI, you got to go to OpenAI, go on the website, let up credit, get the OpenAI key, get the API key, and so forth and so on for everyone out there. Now, the good thing is there's lots of other large language modules, especially the ones coming out of China at the moment, like DeepSeek. That's a really thinking model. And this one here, and I'll show you the one that I'm actually thinking about. And I'm using it's Quint, however you want to name it. And same thing, it's come out of China. It is from Alibaba as well. Technically, it's free to use, but you obviously got to pay for the tokens. Now, I did some research, and this is kind of a really good one when it comes to programming. And so you can read the description here, and it's the Qwen 332 billion parameter one. So when we use open router, you actually get one open router key, and your one open router key you can use any large language module, and you get price per what they are. Okay, so you don't have to go to different large language modules to register for it. Now, the reason I'm using this, it is actually 10 cents per million tokens. Okay, 10 cents per million tokens and 3 cents for the output. Input, output. So you either put something in, we're going to get an output in it. Now, it's very, very important because number one, this obviously saves with this is my thinking, and this is how you should be thinking for your things. It's going to save my Lovable because I'm saving the prompts and the actual Lovable credits, but also because I am putting in a massive, massive prompt in here. And we'll get through this, who, what, why, stick with me for this, I don't even know how many characters, is a really, really big trained prompt in here. You can see it just keeps going and going and going. So I'm putting in a lot of characters. It won't be nearly close to 1 million, but we're having a massive input, and then we'll have some sort of output. Okay, so 3 cents. Now, the reason I've gone for this over DeepSeek, you can read the description, but it's kind of a thinking but a non-thinking, and it's also good at programs. So it's a good in-between one as well. I don't think for these AI agentic models, it really works really well when you have a massive reasoning model, especially when you do webhooks, because the webhooks time out. But when you have a big AI model like DeepSeek, let's just go in here. So understand DeepSeek. If you don't know what it is, sure you would have known it before. Have this in here. Help me 10 plus 10. All right, so a normal model will give you instant answer for this, but you'll see it goes through, and it goes in through a whole thinking stage, and it goes around in this, and this can sometimes take really long, especially when we pump a lot of things in for it. So that's the reason I went with Quinn, because I just find it is better. You can go with whatever you want, but you can see, for example, Gemini is really cheap at the moment, but even this really doesn't compare to the price, especially when we talk about the big input we're going to have. Now, you also need to understand that we're going to have a limit to the input, and it's 41,000 characters, tokens, inputs. And that prompt is not that big to worry about it. Gemini, I think, has the biggest input at the moment. Obviously, you pay for the bigger input. You pay for the capability, and you pay for the bigger input. But really cheap when you compare it to Claude, for example, that's in here, and you can see $15 million for inputs and outputs, right? So really a lot cheaper, and obviously smaller window for it. So that's why I used Open Router. Again, another saving. That's why I used this in here. So let's just quickly talk about the main functionality in webhooks and so forth and so on. So any of these assistants, web apps, phone applications does is it sends some sort of payload to Lovable. So to N8N, and get all my programs in one. So webhooks is literally an HTTP request, and within that HTTP request, you send data to a specific URL, and you send that data in a specific format. Now, we'll get through it. I've done all the hard work before, but all I have to tell N8N is just to wait and be ready to receive data from this URL. So I have the URL on there, and we'll see where we program it later into our extension. Then I know that this URL is every time going to receive a specific format, and this is the JSON format or the schema format, whichever way you want to. And it comes in this specific format in here. And this is kind of generic things from where you're sending it, but it also sends specific stuff within the body, and the body is going to be the message. Okay, so very important here. So the message is obviously what we're going to type in here and the top here. Okay, so whether it's a web app, whether it's a phone app, or whether it's a Chrome extension, these things are going to send a payload, and a payload is data to a URL. So it sends this as a payload to this URL that is waiting, and it receives it in this format. Now, once we have this, we can do some awesome stuff with it. So, and we'll go through it. This is again the whole AI agent. I'm not going to go too much into this. We're just going to go through this one. Obviously, you just add your webhook, you go AI agent, and then for the brain, we're going to pick Open Router. And for Open Router, we're going to use that Quen 32 billion parameter one. So we select that one. We add some memory to it so it remembers every time that we talk to it. And the memory we link to the session ID. So you're going to have a unique ID somewhere. Just so that means once we have memory, if I now send something, if I say, how do I change an A to a B? It will come through here, tell you how to change the A to a B. Now, if I say I want to change the same B to a C, it will come in here, see that we've just done the change, and then build onto that change. Where else, if you don't have simple memory in here that remembers some of the previous conversation, it will just try to change the B to what, and it won't get it for you. So you have to add memory to some things of it. Now, here's the magic part about this AI agent. Okay, so the AI agent, obviously, this is going to be a chat prompt, normal chat, message coming in. What do we want? And that's, again, linked up. Just scroll down in here. Again, linked up to our message that comes in. And it's just about mapping it in here. But what I have done is, this is the big prompt in here. You are a helpful assistant, skilled with lovable.dev. This is your knowledge base. Use it to answer questions and guides. And then what I've done, if you just come, you can just Google it straight away. You can just, and this you'll need to do for your own niche as such, but obviously I'm building this on Lovable. And I just looked up the lovable.dev docs. And most of these large language modules or applications all have documentation pages, docs. The other one we built out the other day was for N8N. They all have a docs whatever website they have, and it contains all the information in here. So what I've done is I have texturized this manually, actually, because I've gone through it, and some things are applicable, some things are not applicable. And I've just made a complete text document of all of these information in here. And you can see there's just about everything from Lovable in here. How the integrations work. Especially I've paid a lot of attention to the prompt building, because it's really, really important to get that first prompt really, really good. Okay, so I've gone through all of this, and I've inputted it into this master prompt in here. Okay, and that's what I mean. You can even see if I keep scrolling, the little scroll thingy goes up because it's loading and loading. So I've built a knowledge base from it. Now, you can, if this gets really big for businesses with different documentation, you should look into RAG. YouTube it, Google it, but RAG means you take a big document and you make it into chunks, add it into a database, Postgres database, and between a separate large language module that you're going to install in there, it's going to be able to take the chunks, search the chunks, and build a memory from those chunks. And it's different RAG agents, and it just gets a little bit up to the next level. This is not that big. When it is big when you cut things out, but it's not super big that I think that you had to build a RAG agent for it. However, you should consider that when you might want to build this out for a agency, for someone else, let's say it's a call taking agency and they're taking calls with frequently asked questions that always get asked, and you want to build a assistant for a co-pilot for the help desk help desk answering service, you're going to have to chunk up a bunch of documents. Just something to consider beyond the scope, and this works really well for Lovable, for my solution, and that's why I've done it this way. So all this does is literally comes in with a specific message, it checks it out on the prompt, and it answers it by learning what's in here. It answers it. That's why it takes a little bit longer, and then it does an output. Now, just before we go too far with this, I had to add this little bit of custom code to it, because sometimes the output, let's see if I can have a bigger one in here. But if you actually zoom in here, you'll see that the output escapes new lines. So you have the new lines in here, and I can see if this actually shows. So that's what the output looks like. Obviously, it goes on and on, but it does a lot of escaping. So it escapes new lines by \enter. So when you had the prompt come out like this, so when you had the prompt come out, the spaces, it's not actually spaces, it's a \n for new lines. And then it also sometimes puts stuff in to quotation marks. Now, these all mess around sometimes with your output, which should be in a JSON format. So how webhooks work is, if I send something off to a webhook, so if I send a payload off, so my extension /app/mobile app sends data off for this, by default, it's going to wait for a reply of some sort. And in that reply, we can add a payload as well, which is going to be the answer. And it's called webhook response. So it knows where it's come from and it's going to reply to that answer. There is a timeout for it, which is a total different set. But usually that answer and that payload should be in a JSON format. Now, when you do double quotation marks, backslashing, it sometimes messes out the JSON code. N8N can wrap it in a JSON format wrapper, but for some reason when I did it with all the other ones, it kept failing it. So I had to add a custom prompt in here that just says whatever data comes in, we're going to go out and re-chunk it. So it adds double to everything, just to make sure we escape those new lines, quotation marks sometimes, okay? And all it then does is, so we send the data off, and this is going to be a reply, and the reply is going to be in JSON format. This is called the JSON format, a schema, and the message is going to be in here. And then all you have to do is just tell your application, your mobile app, your Chrome extension, just to wait for a response and put the response in the chat. And that's exactly what it did. Okay, so that's kind of the back end. Really basic, really simple. You can now build out extra extensions for it. If it's going to answer frequently asked questions on it, we can answer the questions. If you now want to add MCP servers, mail servers, hundreds of tools that is available in N8N, you can, and you can build multiple functionalities to those. You can also tell your application, your mobile app, your extension to have multiple functions. If I say this, call this webhook for this workflow. If I say this and this, call this webhook for this workflow. I did one earlier on, and again, my previous video, it is a go high level voice extension builder, where one prompt is going to build, one system is going to build an AI voice assistant prompt, and the other one is going to answer questions about it. Okay, so multiple users. Literally, this is the stepping step into the door for you to go build out and do anything, add anything, be creative. You just need to know your niche, know how you can solve something with it, and build it out. Now, back end. Let's get into the front end of things, how we're going to build it. And the beautiful part is the back end is built primarily with N8N. Again, you can do this with multiple other things. I like N8N is better. There's a video that I do with this $3 per month hosting for it rather than even make.com. You can't beat this. Make sure you find this. It's $3 a month for unlimited high level. Really, really good. So let me show you how I have built out the backend. I'll show you another option, two options that you can build the backend out with. It can help you as well. And then we will have a third option that we're going to go through, and we're just going to go edit the code as well. So yeah, let's get into the backend part of it. It's going to be the second part of the video. It's probably going to be the most valuable. And again, you can download this, but build out your own backends at least. So yeah, let's get into the next part. All right, Chrome extensions. They work a little bit different. So yeah, obviously have to have Chrome to up and enable extensions on there for you. When you build out websites, you'll have a hosting platform. So a website's not, most new websites, Node.js, custom CSS versions, and just one HTML file. When websites started out, you had one HTML file. That was it. There was a thing called PHP that totally disappeared, but it was kind of like one file you can chuck up onto a web server and it will load it. These days, website files, and I think actually most of it, if we can lovable these days show you for it, has multiple files. Does it show the file codes? Anyway, there's lots of files that go into a website, and you got to take all the files and you got to load those files up onto a web server of sort. Okay, so applications are all a lot of files. When you build out a mobile app, it is also going to have a lot of files, but it puts it together in an APK or iOS, which I forgot the extension for, file that is an actual running application put together that builds it out and actually puts it onto different files onto your phone as such. So let's see if this actually works. Here you go, for example, one website, multiple files, and so on. So extensions works exactly the same way. Where else we build an extension, and like this, it's going to require a bunch of files. Mostly you're going to work off the manifest file and the pop-up file, but you need to know how to program these out as well. But hey, bring in vibe coding. We don't need to write a single line of code, and we can just use, for this one, I actually just used out straight Claude. So all I came into Claude is I literally asked it what I want, and I told it to do it. I made sure, again, we used the MCP server for the latest updates and files, and very much like Lovable, told it what I want, and it has just gone through and done our files, and I've actually just then gone through and created each one of these files manually. So I go out, copy paste, add those in, copy paste, add those in. A lot of extra hard work for this, or not extra work, but you got to go create these files manually. You've got to make sure they're not text files. So when you copy this over, it has to be a .html file. Good thing to get yourself is, if you don't want to progress to the next step, it's just called Notepad++. And it's just a matter of saving the files and add it in here. We get through better ways, okay? This is the harder way that I did it. And obviously, it gives you all the files. You're going to add the files in there. It will tell you where to put in your webhook and customization in it. And it's just a matter of keep chatting to this. I kept chatting into it. I gave it some screenshots of other examples that I want. And it was a couple of hours job of just talking along, discussing things, how things go. Okay. And then it will give a new file, will give the updates. We've got to copy paste, add it in, copy paste, add it in. And I'll show you the easier ways to do it. So stick with me. And that's how you build an extension. And once you have an actual extension, it's just a matter of, quickly add this in. So I just want to copy this one that I downloaded, and I'm going to go to my C drive, go projects, I'm going to say new file, and this is going to be YouTube Copilot. So created a folder, have that all in there. It's all my files in here. And once you're done, it's just a matter of time of coming into into Chrome, having a little button in the top there for extensions, manage extensions. You're going to make sure develop mode's enabled, and you're just going to copy and paste the folder over. And there you go. It loads it in here. You can come in here. You can find that one. We're going to pin it in here. And when I click on it, there we go. That's my panel. Okay. One I built. Go out and build your own. I'm going to give you this one. I'm going to show you how to edit it. So a really hard way, still not a hard way. You're not programming this yourself, but you go through all of it and you'll see it. Claude being really good, I think, at the moment with this. But you go through, you just keep having a proper conversation with it until you eventually get to a file that you like, and it will tell you where to add your webhooks and things and like that. So, see where it actually says this. Your webhook URL, you go in here in the side panel JS is where to update it. Okay, so just having a conversation through it, but you're going to have to create the files manually. Now, if you go to ChatGPT, there are some pre-built extensions in it. So let me come in here and come through in here. Yeah, we'll just create a basic one in here quickly. Shouldn't be too long, I think. But you're going to come to GPTs on the side, and I'm going to say Chrome extension. I was hoping that will load. Chrome extension. You probably search for all those. I was saying there's a Chrome extension coder, Chrome extension development assistant, and they are going to give you a creator. Anyway, there's a couple in here, enhance your Chrome development. I'm a Chrome extension creator, but they're not used that much, okay? Chrome extension engineer. So there's not that many of them in here, and I haven't seen too many that's really, really good. Okay, so you can go through and trial it, and you see they've got really low usage. So it just kind of tells me that I don't know if it's that great. We'll quickly go try one enable mode. Let's go sit in there and say this. I want a Chrome extension that when I click on it, it will show one of 10 random positive messages. I don't have messages. I don't have anything. Create the files and messages. So just a Chrome extension, when you click it shows a positive message. See if we can do that. So great, let's walk you through it. And again, it's just going to go through what you need. You need to create all those files. Okay, so if you go to a new folder, create all those files one at a time. It is going to work and it's going to go through there. So I've done it in here. I like this more. You can try this if you're a GPT fan. I like Claude. Your second option is going to be Cursor. So Cursor is a IDE programming app that will do all this for you. Okay, so what I should do is we'll come in here and we'll see if we can quickly create the new Cursor version. Cursor version. And it is a application. It runs on your computer. You get a free trial on it. It is kind of built out for programming stuff exactly like this. So what I'm gonna do, and here, in fact, we won't use cursor. We'll actually go through the free version. That's VS Code, but cursor, same exact same kind of thing where we can chat to it. It creates files for us on the side. Okay, and I'll just move my face down here a little bit. So it's a file creating AI assistant for it. You have to pay for it. There's a 2-week free trial if you want to use it. However, there is a free version, and that's kind of what this is built on, and it is called VS Code. Now, all you have to do is go download VS Code, and it's from Microsoft. Download it. It works on all platforms, and when you load VS Code, it looks like this. Now, what we need to do is we're just going to say, once you load it, we just need to find that folder quickly. So we're going to open a new folder. The one I just created down here, it's going to be under my projects on my PC. And projects. And I'm going to come to YouTube. I think I'm going to call this one VS Code. Now, cursor works exactly the same. This is just a free kind of alternative where we're going to use our own API key for it. So select that. And there, yes, I trust this user. And let's shut this thing in here. Now, right, cursor is the wrapper editor for it. And what you can do is those files that you just created, you can create in cursor manually yourself. So if I want to come and let's go backtrack a second, sorry, all over the show. If I want to come in here, open this, we can see these are all the files that I have created previously, and you can go through the files, edit the files, you can create new files in here. So it's a real easy way if you're gonna go from Claude to creating the files manually yourself. Okay, so and for example, if you want to change stuff in there. So in fact, let's use this first. So I have downloaded this app from me. So I've given you this, you've downloaded this. And somewhere in here, which I probably should change before I get in trouble, when we look this up, you can see it says powered by Lovable. I should probably not say that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, I'm going to say manage extensions, and I'm going to remove that extension. Then I'm going to come back in here, and we're going to actually get it to change it. So this is the editing program. Now, there's 2 versions of having a free AI input into it. And the 2 things is called VSCODE and Cline. All right, to add those, you just go in here. You're going to look up Cline. You're going to look up VSCODE. I'll use Cline for it. And you'll come in here. You'll click on it. And you'll see it has a same thing, same like Lovable. Lovable has got the little chat assistant down here. This will have it down here as well. All we have to do is come to the config, and we're going to add an API key somewhere. So for this, I added open router to it. And again, you can add any other programming language in here. For example, if you're going to stick with free for it, if you're going to use total free for all of this, I do still think you should go with open router, add some edits for you, credit for you, but we can still go into Gemini. So going totally off track, and I'll open a new folder in here. Go to Google AI Studio. Let's quickly see if this works. I'm going to come through here, and I'm just going to shut that. We're going to say get an API key. I'm going to remove that one, delete that one. I'm going to create a new API key. This is going to be my random project. We're going to get a free API key from Google Studio. Now you can again use this in your N8N as well, but you're going to run out of money for the free version. But you're going to come to Cline. We're going to come in here. We're going to say Gemini. And by the way, Gemini CLI, well, come in really good. But we're going to go to Google Gemini. We're going to hit this paste button here. And we are going to select something light-ish. It's not going to use too much. So we're just going to use, where's the Flash? Gemini Flash 2.5, sorry. So we're going to have this one, right? So I'm going to hit the save. And what we can do is just going to hit the plan button down here. So we're just going to chat to it. I need to move my face out the way again. Getting all this ready. Sorry, team. Delete this, delete this. So all I'm going to say here is I'm going to hit the plan button. I'm going to say the code here is for a Chrome extension. The Chrome extension shows as powered by Lovable. And there, I want to change it to show powered, by Altus. And so I just want to see if the actual API key works. It might not even work. Do the API request. Sometimes I'm not always sure about these free API keys. Really dangerous. I think, there you go, it works. So Cline is going to be our AI assistant. It's going to think about this. It's going to read a bunch of files. And then when we want it to act in a way, we're going to tell it how to act. Okay, so what it does is it analyzes the files. So it goes through the files and it analyzes the files and says pop-up, side panel, powered by Lovable manifest. My plan is to modify the following, change the name, change it. Okay, I already have fair files. My plan is to make the following changes. Let me know if I should proceed. Click act mode. So it's going to do its AI thing. So it's going to go through and there, find it, change it. It's going to find all of them and change it. There's a real valuable bit of learning in here. We've gone a little bit off the path. VSCODE works exactly the same. Cursor works exactly the same. You're just going to pay for it. So Cursor, you pay a once-off fee of $20. You don't pay for API usage. Cline, you can use a bunch of API keys and change it. Obviously, some you have to pay for, some you don't have to pay for. So let's quickly see this. So what it's done is come in here. It's obviously changed the Copilot in here. So all we're going to do is come through in here, click that, manage extensions, and I'm going to take this and I drag it over through here. And there's Altus's Copilot. Nice. And then click that in there. There we go. Our panel works, powered by Altus. You can't see that in the bottom. So that's actually what I wanted to change. The bits down the bottom it says powered by Altus. It says now in my name, my brand name. You can now change it to whatever your business is. So fine. So this is in here. I'm just going to go back out in here. Now let's say you've downloaded this for yourself. How are you going to create a new workflow? So you're going to have to create a new workflow. That webhook URL is going to be yours. So I'm going to go in here, webhook. And it's obviously going to, there's a webhook. You're going to copy the thing over for yourself, but you're going to have a new URL in here. So I'm just going to ask in here, Copilot, hey, please find where the webhook URL is, then change the webhook URL to the new one that is. So it's going to send you API request and it's going to send it through. So we're almost done. We're almost done. Stick with me. I'm just going to show you how you can edit things with Cline. Again, VSCODE, Cline, VSCODE, or Cursor. It's going to do all these things where it uses your AI to do all this. So it's done, found it 2 places, let's change it. So now I'm just going to go through the same thing quickly again. We are going to delete this one. Now, like I said, I really spend time to make this a attachable to the side extension rather than a pop-up, specifically for this reason, because now I can go here, I can load my pop-up or my extension. It's not going to be a pop-up. It's in here. Now I can actually work on this side of the screen. I'm going to say listen. So it should get something, right? Hi there. It's going to get an error back. But yeah, so it's just needs to get the new URL for it. So for some reason that did not work, so I have to go check out and see what it actually, I know what's happened. This needs to be a post. Listen. Hi there. And it gets a new data. Bam. Okay. Needs to be a web post because we're sending web post workflow started. So that's how you change things within here. But quickly, really quickly, we'll go through this. I'll start it and pause it. Let's just make a pop-up. It gives a good compliment. Okay. So extension. This is how you would create a new extension for someone else. You can add the webhooks anywhere in for it. I showed you the theory of sending payloads to webhooks to alter it and edit it with N8N and getting a response back. But if you would build an extension from the front, instead of using Claude like I did, you can just come in here, use the root code, use the cursor, use whatever API key. I do think OpenAI is better, or OpenRouter is better, but we're going to come in here, we're going to come to this VS Code in here, we're going to select this. And all I'm going to say is, come back to root code. I was going to say, plan first is I want a simple, and I want to say simple because then it goes and creates something simple. I want a Chrome extension. When you click on it, it shows 1 of 10 random positive messages to make you feel happy and awesome. I don't have the messages. My Chrome is in development mode. Create the extension for me. I'm very wary of running out of free credits from Gemini, but that should work. I don't think the Gemini model we have is really good, but basic in here. So hopefully it just goes out and create those files. So I'm going to hit the plan first. Always good to have a plan first. Let it go off. Have a think about it. And again, I think from all of these, I'm liking Cline at the moment. It shows some pretty good stats in here. Plus, you can backtrack to these decision making in here. Okay, which is really good. So let's go through this. So we're going to say act. So hopefully it's going to go create the file. So when you come in here, you can see obviously nothing in here for now. So it actually did not know what on earth is happening here. Can't say I'm liking this. 100% do not understand what's happening here. All right. Obviously just stuck in a horrible loop. That's exactly what I mean in this. Cancel this request. Let's go back to plan. How do we stop the task? Start fresh. Create the files. All right. Let's see if this actually works. There we go. All right. So obviously just cutting that over and paste got all confused in it. Here we go. It's creating the files. And we bring this up in here. You can see how it's starting to work on the files and folders. So it shouldn't take too long. Now let's have a quick pause for it and then move it back. All right, so it's completed the code. It's even added some random messages in there for us. It has the folder in here, and all I'm going to do is come back to in here and then go to manage extensions. And it's already in here, and I'm just going to drag it over. All right, and we have a, oh, where's the positive messages 01. Okay, and here, now if I come in here in the top, should drag this all the way down. I hope you all saw this in the start, but it's actually come in here, manage extensions, and we're going to come to positive. Where's the positive one? Positive messages in here. And there we go. It just displays a message here in the top. Okay. And again, we can pin this. So we keep misreading it. Pin it in here. And it's just an app. Comes in different messages every time. Okay. Just an extension example of creating extensions. So hope that all kind of made sense for you. So if you missed all that extensions buttons and the manage extensions, come down. And that's the idea. All right. That's the whole theory of building a whole system that has multiple functionality to it. So I really hope it made sense. I hope you understand. I hope you understand how to put the back end to the front end. I hope you understand webhooks. I hope you understand why it's important as well, and then how to go build out your own Chrome extensions. Again, come along if you want the other one. I'll chuck it in here and in here, and you'll again get all your cool, amazing free stuff. And it's all going to be a lot of fun. There's really no better time to make money with AI than right now. So come on, join the fun. I don't know, try it, make it, do awesome stuff. And I hope to see you in the next video.